So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do some shading techniques and a simple glass. So we're going to be using some smudging technique for the soft blends, some pulling out, and for these harder, crisper edges that show the reflections, we're going to use some heavy pressure and some hatching. Right, so in the last video, I showed you how to construct the glass using some guidelines. Now we want to rub out all those guidelines, like I've got here. And then we want to look at the glass and put in lots of the different patterns that you see within the glass. So you can just draw them in with a really nice sharp pencil. And then here's one that I've done. We can see all the patterns drawn in. Right, okay, so what we want to do next is to start filling in those patterns with some heavy pressure to get this rather nice reflections down here. So I've started this one, and now I'm going to use the hatching technique on the side here. As you can see, I'm pulling down with the pencil. Fairly heavy pressure because this is a dark area of my glass. This is a 2B pencil. You could go up to a higher B pencil if you wanted to, if you want to make it even darker. And here I'm also going to fill in the same way. I'm using this vertical strokes here because I want the glass to look like it's standing up. Now here I'm using some lighter pressure. So I could continue like this. I'm going to show you another way though of shading where we've got some nice soft blends here. Let me just continue these stronger ones. Take your time with these. Got some nice soft strokes here. You see I'm going in a horizontal strokes because this is the bottom of the glass, so it's laying down. I'm just going to show that with some horizontal strokes. Vertical where it's standing up. Right, now I'm going to show you these soft blends. Now one way of getting a lovely soft blend is, if you can see this one, there's a difference here between the tonal values and there's a definite reflection in there. So what I did, I drew that angle on a piece of paper like this, cut it out, and now I've got that edge, and I'm going to put that edge on there like that as a guide. Then I'm going to use my heaviest pencil, which is my 8B in this instance. You can get stronger ones as well if you happen to have one. And then I'm going to use my finger. You could use a blending stick if you wanted to, if you don't end up with a grubby finger. There we go. So this is my mask. That's the masked area. I can keep rubbing down with a pencil and pushing through to make it darker. And when I take the paper away, there's that lovely light coming through. Now I'm going to just fill in here, but what I've got to do is to just lightly put that over there. This is a ragged edge, and that's quite useful actually as well, so you don't get a hard edge if you don't want the hard edge. Rub it down on the piece of paper and smudge it in like so. There we go. So I've got a slightly softer edge, and I want that to be in here as well. I want that, I could actually mask that piece of paper like that as well. Give it a scribble down there and get some of my soft smudging down here. So this would take a bit of time. Okay. But once I've got it dark enough, I could start to pull out that with a rubber. So to make it darker now, I'm going to use, this is a 6B pencil, and I'm just using this against the edge here. And again, I'm using those vertical strokes. You don't have to use it on its side. If you prefer, you can use your pencil like this. I want to go right up to the edges because I want the different tones to pick out the lightest edges of the glass. Because I had that smudging underneath, it's given me a nice soft base to work from, so I'm not working on the white of the paper. I've got a lighter tone in here. Now, I know that I'm going to possibly go over the edge here, so I've taken my template back again here, and I'm going to push that through. I'm also using my finger on here, which is quite good to get a straighter edge there as well, not to go over the edge. Any darker bits in the glass up here, I can use slightly heavier pressure. Right, then I'm going to use some heavy pressure to come around this dark edge of the glass and this dark edge of the glass here as well. Right, now then, the background is going to be really useful for me as well to pull out the light here. So now I did smudge that first, but now I'm going across with horizontal lines just to differentiate between these lines and the background. So go right up to the edge of my background. This allows me to be able to go right up to the edge and get rid of my pencil line along there. So I can't actually see the pencil line along there now. I can pull out with one of these little rubbers the light in the glass there. Okay, so I'm getting this. I'd have to work a little bit more on that, but I just want to show you the technique. Again, my 6B pencil, I'm coming up here. Nice little edging. Just down here, coming along in those vertical lines. Heavy pressure, where it's darker value, and I want to go up to that curve. Nice sharp pencil helps. This is a darker tone, so I can keep going into this. You see so many reflections. It's really actually therapeutic doing this. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Right, around. Now I have changed the angle here, which, you know, rather than doing my horizontal lines just here, I have come across a little bit. And then I'm going to go in vertically again. It was just really to fill that area up with a tone. Right, and along here again I could put my straight edge along here and use my horizontal lines to fill in the side of the glass. Just I've got a nice light bit there, which is good. Now I want to pull out some of this with my rubber. Just a larger rubber this time. If I want to get rid of a line, I can just put my edge in like this, my piece of paper like that, so that I can rub straight up to the line. A bit more dark areas. It's a little bit darker here. So pretty much filled in these dark tones here. Just little patterns in the glass. Stronger tone. And of course I could come across here as well. It's a nice straight edge. And again, fill that in with my horizontal lines for my background. Just going in a little darker at the top there. So that white line stands out a bit more. Here we go. Vertical lines going in now. And I can make those a bit darker by going over again. Some stronger lines. Anywhere I want to pull out a little bit of shine, I can just use this small rubber to do so. The other area where I've used the smudging technique is down here in this shadow. I'll very quickly show you a little bit of that. So my straight edge and rubbing down on a piece of paper. Takes a few layers to get it as dark as you might want it. And down here as well, again. Rub onto that like this. Oops, just moved the camera. Really pressing hard onto the paper so I can take it away and I get an edge like that. Then I can work into that. I can lightly draw in the pattern that I see in the shadow, which again is really quite exciting, looking at those patterns. And then I can rub that down. And this, I'm using this horizontal strokes as well here. Take your time, you get a nice soft blend. Just going to go in a little harder here. And I've got another darker area of shadow that I can put in here as well. I'm using the side of the pencil, that helps. Just helps you get a softer edging. I can use my finger or a blending stick to blend those. And then I'm going to use the rubber to rub out the light coming into the shadow here. I'm also using a brush to brush away some of these lines, because when I do this I'm smudging it even more, but a nice soft brush will stop it from smudging so much. And don't forget, you can use a piece of paper if you find that your hands are smudging it as well. Just pulling out, using my rubber. If your rubber gets a bit dirty, just give it a bit of another piece of paper ideally, and just give it a rub and it'll be nice and clean again. Just going to go back to this area here, give it a slightly darker tone. So be patient, it all takes time. I'm rushing a bit because I want to show you as much as possible on this video to get you started, and then you can spend as much time as you like doing your picture. Look forward to seeing your pictures that you can send through to me, and when you've got a little bit more time to do it. Just watching the video for now. Okay, so we can darken up any of these areas. Just keep going back into it and then pull out any light. Last of all, clean it up. Now you can use your mask when you clean up to go right up to the edge. Okay, and there you go. That's how I did this one. Let me put the finished one up here. And there you go. Thank you for watching.